All right, today we are going to crack the code on learning. Seriously, we're putting together the ultimate science-backed guide to help you master any subject way faster than you probably think is possible. We're going to cover the whole shebang from the actual food your brain needs to thrive all the way to the mental frameworks and AI tools that are, let's be honest, going to give you a serious edge. So, have you ever felt like you're just forgetting things as fast as you learn them? Like you're in this constant battle to just remember? You are so not alone. I mean, with all the information flying at us 24/7, it's easy to feel like our brains are just, sieves. But what if I told you there's a system for this? A real blueprint. Not just to learn faster, but to actually forge that knowledge so it becomes a permanent part of you. So here's the game plan, broken down into 5 simple parts. First up, we're going to look under the hood at the actual science of how learning works. Then we'll talk about how to physically fuel and prime your brain for peak performance. After that, we'll install the best software, the learning methods that actually work. And to top it all off, we'll plug in an AI copilot to turbocharge the entire process. Okay, let's get right into it. Part 1, the science. First things first, we've got to understand the incredible hardware we're all working with, our brains. And here's the thing, it's not some fixed static organ. Nope, it's a dynamic, constantly changing network. The key idea here, the big one, is called neuroplasticity. And this isn't some fluffy metaphor. Every single time you learn a new skill, whether it's a language, coding, or playing an instrument, you are literally rewiring your brain, forging new and stronger connections between your neurons. So that old myth about a rigid, unchangeable adult brain, yeah, that's completely dead. Your brain is built to adapt and change throughout your entire life. So what's driving this incredible rewiring process? Well, one of the key players is a protein called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF for short. This stuff is absolutely crucial. Think of BDNF as, and I love this analogy, miracle grow for your brain cells. It's the fertilizer that helps your neurons grow and form all those new connections. And here's the best part. We can actually increase our BDNF levels through some pretty specific lifestyle choices, which, you guessed it, we're getting into right now. All right, part 2. Let's talk about how we boost that brain fertilizer we just mentioned. And it all starts with the absolute basics, the fuel you put into your body. It's not an exaggeration to say that what you eat has a direct and pretty profound impact on your ability to learn. Okay, first up on the menu, fatty fish. Things like salmon and sardines. Get this, our brains are literally about 60% fat, and those omega-3 fatty acids, especially one called DHA, are the essential building blocks for our brain cells. They're what keep the cell membranes flexible and healthy, which is just critical for your neurons to talk to each other smoothly. And hey, I've got some good news for you. You know that craving for dark chocolate? Well, it might actually be your brain asking for a little boost. It turns out both blueberries and good, high-quality dark chocolate are just packed with these things called antioxidants and flavonoids. They help protect your brain from stress and improve blood flow, which in turn directly enhances your memory and focus. Pretty cool, right? So you might be thinking, how do I put all this together? Well, the crucial thing is you can use a structured plan, like the Mind Diet. It's basically a mashup of 2 of the most well-researched diets out there, but it's specifically tweaked to support brain health. By really focusing on these kinds of foods, greens, berries, fish, you're basically creating the ideal internal environment for learning to happen. Okay, on to part 3. Your brain's got the right fuel in the tank. Now it's time to tune the engine. And we're going to talk about 2 things that are absolutely non-negotiable for peak mental performance: exercise and sleep. Now, this is what I find really fascinating. Different kinds of exercise actually upgrade your brain in different ways. So aerobic exercise, going for a run or a brisk walk, that's a fantastic way to boost that BDNF we talked about, that brain fertilizer. But then you have resistance training, lifting weights, which triggers other awesome growth factors like IGF-1. The big takeaway here, a mix of both is the absolute ideal combination for creating a brain that's just primed and ready to soak up new information. And after all that hard work, exercising, learning, your brain needs to process and file everything away. And that is sleep's number 1 job. When you're in deep sleep, your brain is like this super diligent librarian. It's strengthening the important new connections, clearing out all the useless junk from the day, and locking in your memories. Following a simple sleep hygiene protocol like this just ensures that all the hard work you put in during the day doesn't just, vanish overnight. Let's move on to part 4. So your brain is fueled up, it's primed, and it's well rested. Now it's time to install the right software. We need to talk about the most effective techniques for actually learning and, more importantly, retaining complex information. If there's one thing you take away from this section, let it be this: active recall. I'm serious, it's probably the single most powerful learning technique backed by science. Passively rereading your notes or highlighting stuff, it feels productive, but it's incredibly inefficient. It just creates an illusion that you know it. Active recall forces your brain to work to pull that information out of your memory. And that is what strengthens the neural pathways. It's the difference between watching a video of someone working out and actually getting in the gym and lifting the weights yourself. So how do you do active recall? A perfect way to put it into practice is something called the Feynman Technique. The absolute genius of this simple 4-step process isn't just about writing stuff down. It's in the act of trying to teach it. When you force yourself to explain a concept in super simple terms, as if you're talking to a kid, you instantly see where all the gaps in your own understanding are. It's kind of brutal, but it's an incredibly effective diagnostic tool for your own knowledge. And this quote from Mortimer Adler just nails it. The person who says he knows what he thinks, but cannot express it, usually does not know what he thinks. This is the core of the Feynman Technique. True knowledge isn't just having the info in your head somewhere, it's being able to pull it out and explain it clearly. That is the ultimate test. Okay, part 5, the final piece of the puzzle. Let's look at how we can supercharge all these proven methods with some incredibly powerful modern tools. We can literally automate and enhance our learning in ways that were just science fiction a few years ago. So we've all experienced the forgetting curve, right? You learn something, and if you don't review it, that knowledge just fades away. Well, spaced repetition systems, or SRS, were designed specifically to fight this. Tools like Anki are brilliant. They use an algorithm to show you a piece of information, like a flashcard, right at the moment you're about to forget it. It's the systematic interruption of the forgetting process that moves stuff from your short-term to your long-term memory, and it's crazy efficient. But what about that first crucial step of the Feynman Technique? Actually gathering and understanding all your source material? This is where a tool like NotebookLM becomes an absolute game changer. You can literally feed it all your research, your articles, notes, PDFs, and it acts like your own personal AI assistant. It helps you generate summaries, find insights, and see hidden connections, giving you a massive head start on getting to that deep understanding. And the real power here is just how flexible it is. Learning doesn't just happen from neat PDFs, right? With a tool like this, you can pull in stuff from all over: web pages, Google Sheets, even pictures of your own messy, handwritten notes, and bring it all together into one single smart workspace. It really helps you get your arms around any topic you're trying to master. So there you have it. That's the complete toolkit. You now know how to physically prime your brain with the right food, exercise, and sleep. You've got the most effective methods for building deep understanding, not just surface-level knowledge. And you have the modern AI tools to accelerate the entire process. The only real question left is, what are you going to master first?